The month of August is finally here, and football is coming with it. We're excited about that right now. I have to tell you, by the way, Division I college athletes, if you expended all 4 years of your eligibility in 2026 and you were part of the class of 22, you may still have another opportunity to play some sports in college. So don't go start a career or anything or get married or anything like that and then have all of it, turn around on you in August. So that's something we may mention a little bit later on. Oh, and by the way, one other thing. Doug Gann has posted pictures of Seattle Seahawks on his Instagram account. We're going to talk about all this and more tonight here on College Football This Week. Glad you all are with us tonight. Please let us know in the comments section from where you are watching and for who you're going to be cheering in 2026. We're excited about our guests tonight, and I did say plural. We have a couple of them, but first, very important, the coach of the Montana Western Bulldogs, Coach Ryan Nourse. Sir, it's a privilege to get to have you on tonight. It's been a while since we've had the opportunity to have a coach on the live show tonight. So, we have to start August and do it right and bring you in. So thanks for stopping by with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I thank you, Joey and Doug, for having a Montana guy on here.
Well, we were talking a little bit prior to coming on live about what's going on there. And Coach, let me just ask this. I mean, you guys, you're starting camp tomorrow, so it's really it's a real privilege to get to have you on with us tonight. You bring the boys in this weekend, and how's it all going?
We actually move everybody in. They start in at tomorrow. Our new players start tomorrow at 8 in the morning, getting in, and then we do some new player stuff in the afternoon. Then we'll bring everybody in tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And then the next day we get started doing our Bulldog Olympics and then practice on Wednesday.
Bulldog Olympics. That is a cool ring to it. Okay, I have to ask, anything in particular that is a cool sport that you do in the Bulldog Olympics?
Well, so what we do our first day, we really don't do that day. We don't do any football except for some meetings that evening. We do our conditioning test, and then we break our team up into teams, and we start competing and playing games and going through our champs manual. So, we do it to foster opportunities for our veterans to lead, but then also to bring our new folks into the fold. By getting to know people, by starting to build true relationships and starting to trust one another. And so, we do all sorts of stuff, whether you're playing wiffball, kickball, you got golf competitions, we got a talent show. So we try to do it all. We keep it light, but we also compete at everything. It's been, we've done it since I got here in 2011. I took it for a little bit from what we did when I worked with Steve at Morningside, a little bit different, a little bit more Montana style maybe, and what works with our place. And it's been good. It's really one of the things that our players upon departure from the program look back fondly on, the opportunity to come in and to have players teach you how to be a Bulldog and welcome you in to the team, and then the opportunity to do that and to carry that on as they're going out the door is pretty special for these guys.
That's cool. It makes for a great memory. Doug, I have one more really quickly. And if you have not already seen, which, by the way, shout out to the chat. We have a great community here on College Football This Week, and we'll get to visit with you a little bit more as we go along, but I'm glad you guys are all here tonight. And again, feel free to let us know from where you're watching if you're new to the show here on my channel and Doug's channel tonight. Coach, I want to invite folks to watch the preview because we had a chance to visit a couple weeks ago and preview the Bulldogs. And I don't want to just, go over everything we said there, but one of the things that, stood out to me, we were talking about 7-3 in 2025. And, the standard's just gotten higher there in Dillon. It has. And so that's not the record you want on the outside of the playoffs looking in. So can you just tell us a little bit about, 25, but just briefly, and then, what does it take to get back up there and get back in that postseason?
Yeah. 25 was just a different style of season, something we haven't experienced here for a while, where we weren't able to pull out victories against the top teams in our league. And I think there was a little complacency going into the season off, winning 3 or 4 conference championships and all the records we set. They were really wonderful seasons, but we didn't have the same edge as we normally did. We've been really, I think our reputation out here is we'll play harder and longer than our opponent. And this was one of the few years I could say, man, a couple times we didn't do that. And it kind of felt like it was a little confidence issue as well. We just did not gel on the offensive line soon enough that then by the time we did, 7 games in, and we were, honestly, we scored like 200 points to 17 or whatever our last 3 games. It was ridiculous. But so there was a little disconnect. Maybe we didn't do a good enough job of getting that group to believe in each other and believe in themselves at a high enough rate. Because actually after Sione got hurt in game 1, we had 5 guys who never played before up there, and but they were good and talented and hardworking and high character. There just wasn't much of an excuse for it. So we just never. Years are like, I've been doing this for over 30 years now. Some years are like that, and some guys are like that. And but it was a joy to see it click. I mean, it was easy to call plays. It was easy to plays in the last 3 games. They were really good. Yeah, they were really, really good.
Yeah, maybe you should have saved some of those points in those last 3 games for this year.
We did. Yeah, I've been running basically most of the same stuff. I mean, I got a lot of stuff. I was running as a head coach at Salmon High School in Salmon, Idaho in 1997. I mean, football is still football. 90% of the game is about blocking and tackling still. So curl scheme, still curl scheme. Hasn't changed even since I played. Hitch is a hitch and a screen is a screen. It's just who's running those plays and, some of the play calling timing, I guess. But I don't know. I never really put much into what I'm doing. I just call the stuff that works for the guys. So I don't know. I've kind of felt like it was, maybe I'm a simpleton that way.
I don't think the fundamentals really ever change throughout. Technology gets a little bit different, but I don't think the fundamentals do.
No, I think, some change in maybe how you apply them. Like I think we tackle safer now, et cetera. But you're exactly right. I mean, again, 90% of this game is effort and fundamentals. The other stuff is, situational stuff, where guys are locked in and they're performing at their highest level via the situation. But I've always felt like if you could focus on great fundamentals, high effort, and the team, you always got a chance to win.
Well, they absolutely do. And there's you talk about team. There's a lot of new members to this team this year. I think you guys brought in 44, 45 guys in this past signing class with the transfers and the few transfers that you had. And specifically, I've heard you talk about those offensive line and defensive line. What did you do out of that class to address some immediate help there?
Yeah. We really didn't need any immediate help. We felt like the guys we had in the boat were the right guys. It just took us, we lost a couple of those guys, but then Sione Haimuli was our only returning starter last year. He comes back off a Achilles injury, and basically everybody else is back. We're battling for our right tackle position, but we've got a guy who redshirted last year, Carlos Vallejo, who he did everything +1 that we thought he was going to do. So, and we're pretty good depth wise. We got a senior who's been with us, for 4 years, who's, on his grad year. And then a guy we redshirted last year who's super talented. And we brought in a nice group of O-line guys, and we really didn't go out and grab any O-line transfers. We just kind of felt pretty good about that group that we had and a few of the redshirt guys who were coming up. And then we put together a great crew. I mean, we had 2 guys who got snaked from us by a couple of FCS schools there at the end. Gosh dang it, they found them. But
that's right.
But thankfully we put a pretty high emphasis on taking a lot of O-linemen each year. They're kind of like unicorns now. I mean, everybody wants them, and if they're over 6'2", they really have a shot. So yeah, you just got to go digging on those guys. So to answer your long answer to a short question, we liked who we had in the room. We believed in them, and they had incredible off season. So I mean, we feel very confident that we're going to have a very competitive battery going into the season.
Looking forward to following that as well. You talked about tomorrow is check-in day, and that's always difficult because these guys were the big men on campus a year ago, and now mamas are letting them go, and there's a lot of tears, and there's a lot of paperwork that they forgot or couldn't get into the play NAI or whatever it was. How does that all work into what you've seen through the years?
Just get up and solve problems. Right. Used to try to do too much stuff. Right. On these days, basically, we give them till 2:00 to move into the dorms. We have awesome, it's the one thing about Western, you guys don't know as much about our area. We are the normal school of Montana. We have, we don't even have half the resource that our high-end competitors do, scholarshiping, staffing, population, all that stuff. So, but the one thing we do have that sets us apart and is really the incredible thing that happens at Western is, man, this place is about people, and our people are first rate. I mean, we got dudes coming in starting at 8 a.m. to noon. Every 5 minutes, they're rolling through. They're getting all their stuff done, getting them over their dorms. Their players are moving them in. So, yeah. I just think it took me a few years of maybe being too eager beaver and trying to get a bunch of stuff done to, now we just really have a whole group of people that are taking care of them. And because it is, for the minute you wake up till the minute you go to bed on day one, you're just solving problems, and that's, and I have a great staff, and that's the thing. And I'm happy that they buy into it too. I have a bunch of guys who want my job, and I wouldn't have it any other way. That's what I want, and they're just solving problems all day. There'll be some years I don't even have an issue to solve. I'll be like, what is going on here? So I found out five other guys took care of it, which is awesome.
Coach, I did want to mention this to you, and I know you've heard about it for years and years and years because he lives at home with you, or he did until he got into college. But Eli's in the house, and we had our list of top 5 receivers in the country, our preseason list, and he was near the top of both of my list on there too. How do you separate the dad from the coach? Is that, because the car ride home has always been that issue for anybody, but y'all go to the same house, or you did coming up. How has that been?
It's really never been an issue. I think maybe there was a while he thought I was a little too hard on him and that, but I just asked a simple question. I don't know how to do anything that's not 100 miles an hour. That's not everything. So I just asked him, simple, do you want it, regardless if we were doing hoops or if he just wanted me to train him or I was running him for track or doing so, it didn't matter. I was just asking, do you want to be the best or you just want to have fun? Because being the best is fun to me. The other way, then we're just going to play games and drink Gatorade and get our butts kicked, which I don't care. The objective has always been and still is just to teach them the skills of the game and then let them go roll. So we never had that issue, really. We never had any of those things. So he's done a really nice job, I think, of when you're a coach's kid, especially in college, you got to perform. But he understands who I am too. And if he wouldn't have performed, it doesn't mean at that level he's not of great value to the organization, but it would look way different. I don't treat him any differently than any of the other guys, but I never really have. So we've never had any, he's easy to coach. We've never really had any issues, and he probably complained to his mom some, but if he didn't, I didn't do my job.
That's right. One last one. And I said, I know it was one last one, but I want to follow up on that too. Backyard football, the first time the little kid picks up the football and he's throwing it on there too. Could you have imagined it would have turned out like this?
Really, I kind of did. He's a funny kid. We live in an absolutely magical outdoors place. I mean, I got him into catching dry flies as a tyke. Playing golf, all that stuff, and he doesn't do any of it. Hunting, I don't really hunt either, but he's just always trained. He would take all his cars and all his stuff when he was a kid. We got him like a football field rug, and all the kid did was set his cars and stuff up into different teams and play football. We just shot hoops, I love it. He's in with me all the time, and but he's always been really good with the relational element of it. His teammates respect him, and he's been very good as a leader amongst our young players, of bringing them in and teaching them how it is. I think when you play early, like he did, you don't get some of those things that you get when you're redshirting and on the scout team, and taken in the face a little bit, and living in the dorms, and late nights when you're not supposed to have them, and all that. When you're counted on right away, that's a little bit different. So I've been pretty proud of him for his growth there.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was a good, well-phrased question, Doug. I appreciate that, because I wanted to hear that as well. Okay, shout out, by the way, to Tool Envy, to Dave, to Leo, to Charles, to Justin, all in the chat tonight, and we appreciate them watching. I'm just going to throw this one up there really quickly. Doug going for a different backdrop every week this season. He might be able to pull that off, Charles. He may actually be able to pull that off. We'll see how it works out. But I've told Doug I'm calling my guy tomorrow, so it may be a little while. We may still be looking at the white bricks for a while, but that's fine. All right, Coach Ryan Nourse from Montana Western, who is with us on the show for a little while longer. Coach, my question, well, I had a couple more, but one of them is this. For the graphic, I put a helmet up there. I know you've got the Bulldog on one side, you got your number on the other side. So the way the helmet was facing, I put the number up there. I put 18 up there. Folks may not know everything about the number 18 with Montana Western. Tell us a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, 18 is our legacy number. The situation in 2017, one of our players tragically passed away in a house fire. MJ Simpkins, he was a Dylan lifer. He coached Eli in flag football, and Eli was just a little tyke, and MJ was an incredible young man, and what a great, just natural leader. Loved the game, all those things. It was very tragic, and they started a group, his dad and many of their friends, called Engine 18, and it just really grew into quite a events, and they've all earned it at different levels of production on the field, and and then this year Eli gets to wear it, so he'll be the fourth guy, from not counting MJ from Beaverhead County High School, to wear 18, and it's a big deal in Dillon, Montana.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wanted you to get a chance to talk about that too, because I knew you could express it better and more heartfelt than anyone could. So I appreciate that. Coach, my final question, and I encourage people, if you want to know more about Montana Western, please go ahead and go back to Midwest Sportsnet. We do have the preview for this year and had a chance to visit a little bit more. But I would ask this again. Okay, on the outside looking in, you guys have been to the playoffs. You've been winning, the league, which now has two divisions. And it's a little bit different. I know there are some opportunities in the non-conference, quote-unquote, non-conference part of the schedule where you might get to play someone twice in a season. You don't have to anymore, which that I'm sure is a welcome thing. But what's it going to take then? I mean, it's not only a tough conference, you're in a tough division as well. Of all those teams that are in there, what's it take to get back to the playoffs and get past a couple of these programs? All of them out there in the West are pretty tough, but still, it's tough up there at the top.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody likes to play us. I know that's a big deal. When you're successful, that's what happens. And the conference championship's gone through Dillon basically every year for the last 6 years, whether we won it or not. I'm proud of our guys for putting together a unit like that. So, like everybody, one, you got to stay healthy, two, you got to make a little luck for yourself. You got to make a little luck for yourself if you can make it. there, and three, you've got to be really consistent. That's where, those teams we had that won conference championships and went to the playoffs, I mean, they were consistent. They were finishers, they were better at the end of the season. Now, even our teams that didn't win it, we have been better at the end of the season. And I'm really proud of that but it's been a consistency issue, because just the day to day is very challenging. Right. And it's very challenging when you're playing really good teams and really good coaches on a weekly basis as well. There's always natural letdown, but there really can't be. I mean, you got to be on your toes, and that's very satisfying too. As well. It does help with motivation throughout a season. I can remember the years there when I was at Morningside. We were just with how the league was rolling at that time. We were only putting in heavy work for 2 games a year, and that can be hard. That can be hard trying to turn it on and not turn it. I mean, it's just hard. On their kids, but it's hard on adults too. So it's good to play the competition we play, and I think non-conference this year. We got go to Dickinson. That is always so challenging, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Nothing good comes easy. So
that's exactly right. Doug, anything?
Coach, just want to.
I've always been a builder, and to be able to take Western over and really to have something that you look out at, you're like, man, I'm going to take for one guy, and so they know what it takes, and how to be a bulldog, and I think that works well here. So that's a long one to look back on, So my first head job was 1997 at Salmon High School, and I still talk to some of those students, and I still have great friends in Salmon, Idaho. So I think really everywhere I've went, I've made some connections that have really been the gold in my life.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
absolutely. Man. Well, Coach, listen, I know tomorrow you're there. It's Camp Eve right now, so
solving problems, Joey.
Absolutely. But you've got some good staff that are helping you with those. So that sounds great. Coach Ryan Nourse, Montana Western, sir, it is a privilege always get to speak to you. I know you've been on Midwest Sportsnet a number of times, and I'm very thankful every time. So we appreciate you coming on. Success to the Bulldogs this year, and to you all, and to your family too. Hope for a great year for Eli, and that you all do well. And we just appreciate you stopping by, and thank you for being a part with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys. I certainly appreciate your coverage.
Thanks for stopping by tonight, man.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the invite.
Well, listen, if you don't know, if you haven't seen Clayton, you need to check him out. Now, Clayton, I'll make sure. I know I've seen you on TikTok. Have you been on Instagram? Tell us where you are social media-wise.
So the videos mostly on TikTok. I think only on TikTok. There may be some on YouTube later in the season. And then I am on Twitter as well, talking small college football as well.
All right. Well, you already have a fan, Clayton, that is in with us tonight. So just to let you know, you are a legend there. Minnesota was 2 weeks ago. Good, Leo. I was wondering either how long we were going or how fast you were driving, for that matter. That could have been a factor too. All right. If you haven't seen Clayton's work, I saw you were in the first time I saw your name come up was in a Discord with Corey Thorpe, NAI F-ball, so I got to see your name come up there and just kind of internet sleuth along the way, because as one does, right? You internet sleuth, you want to follow people, find out a little bit what's going on. And Clayton has been giving us breakdowns of, and 2 different things, Clayton. One, which we talk about a lot of NAI football here on College Football This Week. It's not exclusively, but pretty close. NAI football going through all the teams, and then D2 and D3 football conferences as well. So what got you into that, man?
Yeah, so I played small college football. I played at Benedictine College. Always had a passion for it. I love sports at like the grassroots and real community-based level. And I think small college football is the perfect example of that. Almost every person has a small college football team across the country, pretty close to their backyard. And these are great football teams, great players, great athletes, and great people. And I think, they deserve more support across the country. And I want to do my part to, promote these players and these teams.
Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, Clayton, I was good. That's true. And you talk about the love for small college football. You've ramped it up a little bit because they're getting a lot more coverage in this, but dadgum, every team you're doing and you're spot on with it too. I went back and listened to a lot of them. So you got a lot more views off of them. You already had a bunch in the first day, but man, you got a lot more just from me going back and cycling through them. When do you spend time to sleep, or is it just research all day and all night?
No. So, a lot of times, laying in bed at night, or, when I get home in the morning, get home from work at night, lay in bed at night. Maybe when I get up in the morning, I'm, spending 15 minutes learning about these teams, kind of scrolling. It's tough to, try to track down players and stuff like that, resort to scrolling social media and, like you said, sleuthing to see if players are coming back. But it's something I'm really passionate about.
Well, you have to be. You really do. I was going to ask now, Doug, I know that there are a couple more things. I wanted to ask really quickly. One of the things you mentioned recently, and you were talking about getting through the teams, Texas Wesleyan, which is where Doug and I are going to be down there again on December 19th. By the way, Crowley Field, you heard you talking about Crowley Field. It's the real deal. Texas high school football stadiums on that level are the real deal, and it definitely is a big-time place, a great place for the NAI football championship. But you were talking about Coach Johnson. You know him personally, had a chance to play under him. Talk about that and what you think he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, so, I spent my first 4 years. He was the offensive coordinator at Benedictine. So I got to, experience him and Coach Wilcox, and then, the transition to Coach Osborne. Coach Johnson is a great offensive mind. He's very, very sharp and very, detail oriented. And I think, his run game designs as well as his pass route trees are just something that I think, he's going to be able to excel at as a head coach. I'm excited to see him as a leader of men, in the head position. At Benedictine, he spent time as a leader of the FCA and things like that. And he's just a great leader, a great man. And I'm really excited to see him take a head job.
All right, Clayton, let me ask you this now. This steps back into all of them that you've done. Is there a favorite mascot or helmet or logo or something that you've come across?
I'm really partial to Oklahoma Panhandle State. I love their design, their logo, and then the No Man's Land branding at their stadium is just very cool. Some of these NAI schools are in the middle of nowhere, and I love that they play into that and embrace that kind of role.
It was difficult because we do cover LCU out of the Sooner Athletic Conference and made our way to OPSU last season. And I still don't know how I got there. We just flew somewhere and drove the rest of the way. But look, if you get out and about and you ever want to make it down to Pineville and sit in on a Louisiana Christian game, come on down.
That would be awesome. I would love to do that.
All right, Mordecai, I've actually broadcast a game in Goodwill as well when I was calling for Southeastern Oklahoma State, and both teams were D2 at the time. We actually may mention that a little bit later on tonight, Doug, but I agree with you. I love that logo, and I was showing it to Mrs. Midwest Sportsnet the other night. The P, if you haven't seen it, by the way, that the P has the Oklahoma outline in it.
That's right.
And it's a fantastic logo. That was marketing genius, by the way. I think that one was really cool. Okay, you know what? A little bit later on tonight, Clayton, we're going to talk about some returning linebackers that could have an impact on this season. As you've talked about a number of teams so far, is there a linebacker that's returning that stands out to you?
Oh, yes. The one that instantly comes to my mind, and I'm sorry if I'm going to blank on his name, he plays for Hastings. And he wears number 44. He is all over the field. I want to say his first name is Dawson. He is a real ball hawk, and he's somebody that I'm really excited to watch in 2026.
All right. You know what? I'm not recalling it now. I think I know what you're talking about. Of course, 44 is my number, so I mean you had my attention there. We'll come back with that a little bit later on. We'll clean up for you and make sure it gets done. But no, that's not a problem. Okay, you mentioned another coach, and this is something that I think is really cool too. That you got not only did you get to play with Coach Johnson, you got to play with Coach Wilcox. I mean, that is an NAIA legend name, Clayton, and I know that you know that personally, having gotten to experience that. Of course, the stadium there in Atchison's named for him now, and that was only a matter of time, by the way, before that was happening. Record 305 and 153, and I like that because, Doug, here's the quick math. That is almost exactly, I mean, just shy of a 2-to-1 ratio wins to losses. That's pretty solid when you've coached that many games. Talk about playing for Coach Wilcox.
Yeah, Coach Wilcox is just an amazing man. One of the most impressive things to me is, he still makes it to every home and away game for Benedictine. And, when he's at the games, he'll remember every player that walks up to him that played for him over those 40-something years. And that's always just very impressive to me that he's able to remember every single player's name and, talk to him and have conversations about, when they played. He's just such a great leader. And, I still say his sayings and things he said daily.
That's cool when a coach can have that kind of impact. Doug?
We had just said to clear up a little bit from that. It's the all GPAC linebacker is Dawson Kissinger from Hastings is your guy, and we're looking forward to a lot from him this year.
There you go. Okay, I love this one, by the way. Clayton, you're going to like this, I think. Let me see if I can pull this up here really quickly. And Brian, I'll get to your comment here in just a moment. Leo is older than Doug and me, and that's all I'm going to say. We do know how old he is, but we're just going to drop that right now. Coach Wilcox was his freshman dorm director. Leo is a Benedictine Ravens fan, so I think you've had his attention talking about them tonight. How cool is that, Leo? How cool is that, Clayton, then?
Yeah, it just speaks to, a guy that was willing to do it all. I believe he was a baseball coach at one point at Benedictine as well. So really somebody that was willing to do anything for the campus and this community.
All right. Well, I have one more question then for you in particular. I don't know if Doug has any more or not, but we want to say, first off, thank you for coming on tonight because we think you're doing a good job, and we just want to give you a shout out and hope we can be a blessing to you. Do you have any plans for the season then? I mean, preview, and, the season's getting underway. It's 25 days until week 0 Thursday night. So what does the Clayton Mordecai show do from here on out?
Yeah, for sure. So this all started last season. I was talking about games coming up. My wife and coworkers kind of got tired of listening to it. So somebody had an audience somewhere. I would do, a game of the week preview in the NAIA D2, D3, and then the results shows for those games, and then 3 results that shocked me as well. I plan to do those as well, and then maybe incorporate some either FCS content or potentially just some more results-oriented shows.
All right, sticking with just TikTok there?
Hopefully, thinking about experimenting with the long form on YouTube. We'll see what time and availability.
Well, yeah, no, it does take a lot of time, and I just want to make sure that people know where to find you for that, and so that you've got the name right there, so they just search for Clayton Mordecai and they will find you, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, shout out to the Ravens. Devin with a shout out to the Ravens as well. So Clayton, you got some fans in the chat tonight, and we sure do appreciate you stopping by. Doug, anything else before we let him go?
Just Clayton, I look forward to talking to you through the year, too. I think that'd be a great piece, Joey, as we do the things that we do. Get Clayton on for a minute or two every other week, couple of weeks, 3. If you've got some time, Clayton, we'd love to have a spot with you, I believe.
Well, I'd love that a lot. Look forward to discussing that further.
That sounds good. We will do that. In the meantime, Clayton, God bless you, man. We thank you very much for stopping by college football this week and being a part of it. And be sure and check him out on TikTok because I'm going to do that too. I have probably not seen as many as Doug has, but I've seen a lot of them.
I watched a lot of them.
So we appreciate that. But God bless you, man. Thank you very much, and have a great night.
Thank you for having me. Go Ravens.
We've got to get the Ravens in there too one more time. All right, so Doug, man, we're about 40 some odd minutes in, and
but you did not say that it was going to be a quick show, so that's okay.
No, I did not. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat, and thank you, by the way. If you're new to the channel, to Midwest Sportsnet or to 446 Sports, please let us know. Let us know you're watching tonight, and from where you're watching, who you might be cheering for. Some of these that are already there. Brian, I'll tell you what, we will let you lead off this next segment as we go into it right now. Harrell from Central Methodist might be the most pro-ready NAI linebacker right now. So I hope I pronounced his name correctly. I didn't study that one, Doug. But
No.
all right, Central Methodist. That's something too. And when we go through some more of the week 0 games that are coming up, which by the way, there's a true week 0 this year. There's not one every year, but there is one this year. It truly is a week 0. Central Methodist, I think, is on the list of graphics tonight too. So
Okay.
they've struggled since Coach Callaway went away, and then that year 11 wins when he was last there, and a trip to the playoffs. It's been a struggle for the Eagles, and so but 2024 was a step in the right direction. So maybe things have righted there in Fayette, and of course, then if they have a linebacker like Harrell, who's being pumped up here by Brian.
Right.
And there we go. All right.
Randy.
Randy, you getting to know the Wildcats. The Wildcats you're doing specifically there. Randy, I saw you on social media sitting in front of a lonely Southeastern Oklahoma State University cap. Or no, that wasn't you. That was your son there. So just want to let you know I did see that out there. Doug, hey, listen, we got a lot of linebackers to talk about tonight.
We do.
So let's hear. I'll give you the chance to start off. Returning linebackers, folks. That's the key. Returning linebackers. Yeah, we know a few about some of the ones that are coming in, some transfers, and a few that are freshmen that might be able to step up and play there. Doug, who's on your list first?
We'll start off with, but a big shout out to all of those that have moved on and are playing in different spots and elevated their careers too, because there's some talent that is still playing that would be returning that's elsewhere now. That's some great guys. But
by the way, did you like the word Coach Nourse used? They got snaked.
They got snaked. Yes, that was man. You hear a different word from every coach that talks about it, but yeah, there's no coach speak in that. They got snaked. That's exactly right. But you get over 100 tackles on the season prior to this. That's got to lead you off. And my number one is from Marion University, and it's Cade Houseman. And he's a household name, not to be terrible with corny jokes, but he's at the top of my list on there.
You have some dad jokes along the way.
Always.
You have some dad jokes. You talk about that. Houseman was on my list too.
Yeah.
103 tackles last year, made first team all mid-states from the Midwest side. 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 0.5 sacks, excuse me, an interception, a fumble recovery as well along the way. You look at Marion, Doug. I mean, you have to have play like that, and you wonder who's coming back. Houseman is a big name that's coming back. This is a team that on the field won 11 straight games. Now, I know there's that Dort forfeit in there, but on the field they won 11 straight games, and so that's there's a lot to be said for that, and Houseman was a big part of that. And as you mentioned, too, Evangel with the Myers kids that they've had for the last 3 or 4 years, I mean, it seems like there's always someone with triple digits in tackles. That's a good number. You get 103 tackles, and I don't care, win or lose, you're doing something right.
55 of those were listed as solo tackles. That's going out there and getting it done, because I guarantee you his solo tackles beats most of the country in combined tackles.
Okay, I'm going to go with someone who had, by the way, Tulin be loving some defensive coverage tonight. Well, I'm glad we could be there for you, Tulin. We do want no, it's important. I mean that. I'm not kidding. We want to be a show that you like. How about this one, Doug? A few less tackles, but I am going to go representing Dort and the defenders. Somebody who stepped up last year is Josh Henderson. Now, he had 46 tackles. Didn't need to have as many. There were a lot. I mean, they were spread out over the Dort team. And so the defenders stepping in. This was a solid defensive team last year. Again, spread the wealth there. There were a lot of players who stepped into new roles. Henderson comes back, 5 tackles for loss, had an interception as well. I think he's going to be a returning linebacker who has an impact this year.
I definitely believe that too. And Dort has such an opportunity, and it's going to take effort from things like Josh Henderson doing what Josh Henderson goes out there and does. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, Doug, give us another one.
You brought up a good point on linebackers too. Just because you don't have interceptions or fumbles or a lot of tackles, we told you it's just managing the game. Somebody that does that is Zach Lacombe out of Benedictine. And he had 12 tackles in that early season game against Morningside. So he's showing up big, making big plays when it's time to go up and do that. not to foreshadow things, but I've got a Morningside guy on there too. And maybe that points to the fact that I'll be there in week 0 in just 27 days. But look out for the work that Lacomb's going to do.
All right. By the way, I want to get his name up there really quickly. Sorry. A couple of them a little slow on the name there, but we're going to be all right. Okay, Doug, how about this one? I'll bring this one out too.
Okay.
Somebody who did not have a tackle last year.
Okay.
But he's still returning to his team because he was there a couple years ago, and that is Kessler Fjellman, College of Idaho, coming back. Out last season due to an ACL injury. He's a physical therapy intern. Oh, but wait, he's worked in manufacturing jobs. He's worked as a concrete worker. This is a blue-collar guy.
Okay.
I mean, on the field, off the field, I think he's going to have an impact for the Yotes this year. So I'm putting his name out there, Kessler Fjellman, and I do believe I said that one right.
You jump into that Yotes defense, you know that he's got to be that dude. And man, I'm looking forward to seeing him.
All right, hey, listen, you teased a Morningside player, Doug. So I think we have to hear that here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and go that way.
We'll do that. I like, and maybe I'm getting stuck on this matchup, and I hate to because there's so much good talent. But I like Blake Bellamy a lot out of Morningside. Had close to 80 tackles last year, a couple of sacks along the way, an interception for a touchdown, and a couple of fumble recoveries. He finds a way to find the ball. He finds a way to find the ball carrier, and he makes plays. And that's a good matchup between those two teams.
There you go. Absolutely. You have to have good defense from Morningside. We dropped Morningside a lot tonight. I really hope Dave's enjoying it.
But, that's right.
But you know what? We talked about this, I think, briefly last week. I mean, how much attention Morningside's offense gets, but that's a very solid defense too. And
it is.
And they don't get the numbers. I'll say it again. I loved that '90s Braves video. We had those Braves pitchers out there complaining about chicks dig the long ball, but they do. And so, yeah, I mean, the offense is going to get its props, but I think Morningside's defense is pretty solid too. All right, I'm going to stay in the GPAC then, Doug.
Okay.
I mean, GPAC's going to have some good defense this year. Well, I think I am if I don't lose my opportunity to push my little buttons right here. By the way, appreciated everyone for watching the show last week, which was held together again with baling wire and duct tape. So I was really happy and thankful that everyone stayed in. How about this one? I'm going to go with Jackson Smythe from Northwestern. Smythe comes in, second team All-GPAC, which that's a tough list to make, that All-GPAC defensive team. 72 tackles, led his team last year. Northwestern needed the help on defense, and, man, they put up some solid defensive efforts they have in the last couple of years, last year specifically. So I'm going to talk about that. And I think it's cool, too. One thing Coach Nourse mentioned, Doug, and I knew I was going to mention this tonight, and so I just filed it away. He talked about, I think he said all but one of his staff played for him.
Yes, he did. That's
at
correct.
Montana Western. If you look at the Northwestern staff, there's just some schools like this. I think for the teams that I cover in Division II and the Great American Conference, Harding is a school like this. I mean, where you just get families, and I mean, you get brothers and sisters and all these players that play these different sports. It's a family affair. Look at Northwestern. 10 of the 12 of his coaching staff, including Coach McCarty, are Northwestern alums. And then you've got, coaches, offensive coordinator played there, and his brother played there. Defensive coordinator, by the way, that's Blake Fryer now, new offensive coordinator. He played there, his brother played there. Defensive coordinator, Brett Mosier, he played there, his brother played there. Special teams coordinator, Corbin Gramstad, he played there, his brother played there. Oh, you may remember Jalen Gramstad, led him to a national championship and all that good stuff. I think it's really cool that you get that kind of family affair in a place like Northwestern, and you know that when you get that consistency and coaching staff like that, it's going to keep bringing players back, and you get a player like a Jackson Smythe, and I take it right back down to him to say I think he's going to be a returning linebacker that has an impact. There you go.
Look, absolutely agree with that. One of them that I think we both agree on too is next on our list, I would think, out of Southeastern, and it's Brady Nolan. 12 games last year, started all 12 of them. 78 tackles on the season, 50 of those assisted. That means he's getting to the ball and he's helping close things off and shuts things down. 3 sacks on the year. But what I liked about it, 10 tackles against Kaiser a year ago, and had 10 tackles in their playoff victory to start the playoffs off too. He is a big time player. He was a big time player last year. Look for big things out of Brady this year.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. I had him on my list as well, somebody that I definitely wanted to talk about. And I think, Doug, in hitting all the ones that you've hit and I've hit, I believe we've gone through every one. Now I'm going to pull up one comment here really quickly to say, Robert, I'm really sorry. We haven't talked about the Concordia defense, so don't worry about watching the replay. You should go back and watch the replay, by the way. Coach Nourse, Clayton Mordecai, watch the replay.
Yeah.
But we didn't get Concordia's defense on there, at least not from this linebacker position. But, Doug, I think you had one more, didn't you?
It couldn't get out of here, and this is going to go out to Justin because he likes talking Wildcat football. So this is for wait a minute, it's our Wildcat on there, and it's Jordan Oglesby. We did a report with him just this week. He has come back for, I guess, his grad season that's on there. I don't know if there's now. I've only seen what I've seen, but keep an eye out. He was first team all Sooner Athletic Conference. Jordan Oglesby is a monster when he's out there. And he said he wants other people to feel the ferocity that he plays with. And I said, I don't know that I've heard it any better than that. He's got all the tools. He's a big guy. It's his final ride. He's not going to do anything after his college career, I don't believe, but he's one of those guys that's been around. He's been injured, had a COVID year coming around, and man, just look for big things out of Jordan Oglesby.
Oh, I do. And I know we're getting our LCU, 6 degrees of LCU football with Doug Gann, but right. I think they're solid players. Absolutely think they're solid players. All right, okay, here we go in the chat. Let's see, because we always invite the community to be a part of this. Brian, I do not have a banner. I can just tell you right now, don't have a banner for Sean Webster. But Deshaun Webster from Kentucky Christian was a man amongst boys last season. I like to see that, and I'll tell you one of the things about that too, Brian. I think Kentucky Christian is going to be there. I'll go ahead. No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to give something away from next Monday night show, and I'm not going to. You should, if you're a Kentucky Christian fan, you need to watch the show next Monday night forum, which is our live preview. And there's going to be 5 guys on the show this week or this year. Doug's going to be on along with James and Vince and Corey. I will mention Kentucky Christian football, but Deshaun Webster, one of those, a man among men. Then, so all right, we'll be looking for him.
One good highlight for him, he had about a 55 yard pick 6 last year too. So he another one of those that sees the football. He's the heart of that front 7 on there too, and it's going to be fun to watch him as well.
All right, those are players that we think we're going to have an impact, linebackers that we're going to think are going to have an impact that are returning to their team. Let's throw out some from the chat really quickly. St. Mary is a dark horse. Thank you, Leo, for asking about that, because I was going to ask it as well. And that is the St. Mary from Leavenworth, which is a KCAC team. And man, I'll tell you what, if the Spires can find a way to get through that division, which I believe, now I'm not looking at it, I think that they are in the division with Sterling, with Southwestern, with McPherson, with Friends, with Kansas Wesleyan.
Wow.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's going to be tough. But Josh thinks there's a possibility, so that is cool. Actually, by the way, just on a side note, I've been doing some work helping KCAC and Men's Soccer Media Day that's coming up. Just got through visiting with their coach there at St. Mary. Really nice guy. Really enjoyed visiting with him a lot. All right, a couple more things. Robert made it tonight. Man, I'm glad.
Welcome, Robert.
I'm glad you got to be there. And, guess what? Justin was a little taken aback by your comments.
That's right.
Doug, so
that's my buddy. Look, he's got another question down there at the bottom. No, We are not calling that one. We're just going to be on there covering it. No. We had an opportunity to get up for a top 5 matchup, and Joey and I said, let's go. And he still hasn't committed fully to this, but this is subliminal messaging to our friend there. Not going to call it, but we will have the type of coverage that we had from the national championship game as well. We'll bring you some talk with the coaches, and we look forward to getting over to Briarcliff as well prior to that. And man, walking on that red carpet that Dave said was going to be out. Yeah. We're excited there.
Dave promised that, so that's all right. You know what, Doug? It was 90% last week. I'm going with 92% this week.
You're not ready to call it an election.
I'm not ready to call it just yet. I'm not going to. I was going to mock some news coverage there. I'm going to stay off of that one. But
there's Justin.
But
see,
I do want. No, I'm trying. I really am. And I actually, this is funny. Doug has all. He explained how he did it all last week. I have people. I'm just going to say that I have people that are helping me in this. So I've got to get it all covered. Got to get it all covered there. All right, really quickly there. Robert says, nice background of studio with football. Football there. Football memorabilia, actually, he goes on down to say, not football me, but football memorabilia there. So that
and
is
this
all
is
right.
The background that we're going to stick with. We made it back over to the studio. And so this is where we spend our days. We spend post games. This is our hunting camp. For those of you that hunt a lot, this is my hunting camp.
There will be a trip to Seward someday, Robert, and I hope that the trip to Seward happens while Trey is still playing. That's all I'm saying. I'd like to do that. I want to go up there too. I want to visit. I want to meet Coach Daberco face to face. Coach Bolt, their volleyball coach, really like him. Think he's a fantastic guy, and I'd like to get to see Seward. Excuse me. All right, Doug. Let's we're almost to the hour point tonight. We still have a couple things we want to cover. Let's do this one briefly.
Okay.
A Colorado judge. A Colorado judge. Charlotte is her name. Just so you know, I didn't say her last name.
Right.
You have to look that up so you can internet sleuth on your own. Has determined, as of the end of July, that if you were I knew it wasn't red, Dave. I knew it wasn't red. I couldn't recall what it was. It's the maroon carpet, Doug. It is the maroon carpet.
Yes, I stand corrected.
I couldn't get it out there, but anyway, all right. A judge from Colorado has determined in July, after the athletic year has now started for 26-27, after kids have gotten married, after kids have started their careers, they've gone on, your class of 22 high school kids that have run their 4 years, and they've expended their eligibility, and they knew they weren't going to get it. Now, granted, did the NCAA do them wrong by not including it in it? Possibly. I'm not going to say they did, they didn't. I'm not taking a side on this one at all, except that the timing is horrible, number one. To do this, you get all this stuff out there. Now you're getting all these things on social media, Doug, that the NCAA, they've had to reopen a portal window. This is not just for football. By the way, this is for Division I, not D2, not D3, not NAIA. It's for Division I. It's for and it's for basketball players too, because there's already been legal out there for basketball players to get an extra year. So now they're saying that a portal's opening. We don't know this for sure because they've come back and Judge Charlotte has also clarified, Doug, that this doesn't take away from any of the portal rules that are already there, which is in essence saying this. I'm going to sum this up. I am not a legal scholar. Please do not. This is, what is it they say all the time on YouTube? This is for entertainment purposes only. For educational purposes.
For education. And I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. So.
And I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. What it means, Doug, is this. Yeah, you get an extra year, but you have to play at the school that you were playing at before because you can't get into the portal because it's already closed, except that it's open. Maybe, but maybe not, because the NC may or may not have opened this for the week coming up. Doug, that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't like it. I think it's dumb that it's all gone on. I'm not taking a side one way or the other, but the timing of all of it is horrible. The judge in Colorado is trying to set the precedent for the entire of the United States. And if this were not, I said I was done, Doug. I'm almost done. If this were not a statement to Congress to say, pass the Protect College Sports Act, I don't know what is. There you go.
Because you got to get that state to state nonsense the heck out of it. That's what the problem with this, and that's why Judge Charlotte needs to Stay in our lane and get out of this. But here's another reflection on this society on there too. And I'm not going to get my head as red as Joey's is right now. I promise that. But what I will say is that we're in a society, and if you don't like something, well, sue somebody. And if they tell you no, go to another state and sue somebody else. When it's a world based on all these different levels, well, they told me no, so we're going up, and you told me. And if I'm the football player and I've walked on senior day and I've moved on, and I don't want to go back and play. I'm not going back and doing that. I've had a summer where I've goofed off and haven't got hit all summer. I'm not coming back.
Agreed. It's horrible timing. Now, I will say this. It still benefits basketball players. Basketball players will benefit
right now.
They're not starting right now.
College basketball.
But, hey, listen, I'm a huge volleyball fan. I love calling games. Justin, if you were asking if we were calling the game, we're not calling the game. Doug and I both are broadcasters. I'm in year 26. Doug is in year like 47 or something. He's way older than I am. But
I did
maybe not.
Year 30. Yes,
okay.
I did.
Okay, so we've been between the two of us. We've been broadcasting for a long time. I love calling games. Volleyball is one of my favorites. I thoroughly enjoy calling volleyball. This is, just shooting them in the foot because this is for them too. Your basketball players are benefiting. I just got dive bombed by a bug in my own studio. Your softball and baseball players and other sports are going to benefit from it. But basketball is your premier one that's going to benefit from it. And let's throw this one up there for Charles. There's going to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations with incoming freshmen in some major programs. And you're exactly right.
Yep.
Because this is like, oh, you know what? We'd love you to play, but if we get one more chance with this other guy, we're going to bring them back. You're going to have to sit on the bench. We said you'd have a chance to maybe get a chance to play this year. That's looking less likely. Please stay at our school.
That's why the kids go, and now they'll have their 5 for 5, so they won't redshirt, but they'll use up one of their seasons. So they only get 4, but they stayed and you carried the 1. And
yeah,
I just look, we need to pass a federally designated, and and
I hate that.
Furthest person from wanting that to happen. But
I hate that.
Get things out of legislation, please. That is the ruination of this world.
Okay, Doug, I don't think my head's going to change color anytime soon. It's just stuck there for the rest of the broadcast.
That's right. That's right.
If you like our new backdrop, there's a little bit of red in the backdrop now, or actually there's less red than there was, so this takes away from the red on my head when the backdrop's not totally red like that. There we go. Age and experience over youth and potential. Yeah. Well,
that's right.
And Charles, you can't replicate experience. I'm sorry. Charles, you can't replicate experience. You just can't. And so if they already have it, they've been there, they've done that, put them back out there on the field again. Let's go to, okay, we stayed there too long. Doug, I said that we'd talk about it. Do you have anything else? Because I want to move on to something else.
Move.
All right, here we go. Justin says this. Hey, Doug, if y'all make it to Baker on Halloween, I might cheer for LCU sometime.
If we do, Justin, I'll bring you that. How about that?
All right. All right. So there's our Halloween reference, and I think it's Mid-America Nazarene. It's going to be over there.
There you go.
In Baldwin City on that night, too. All right. Doug, let's quickly run through this. We've got a little more than an hour tonight. So let's run through this one really, really quickly. And let me bring it up here. By the way, thanks for watching tonight. New graphics. Charles, I don't have a new backdrop yet, but I have new graphics to lead into August. So, there's that. Let's see here. All right. Doug. See if I can put this one up there. How about that? Do you like that one or do you like this one? I don't know.
That one's fine.
Just play. I was also playing around with StreamYard. Can you tell? Playing around with StreamYard. Okay, this one, we'll run through. Here's some more Week 0 games because when it gets to be time here pretty quickly, and I'll do a couple shows that it's just me because Doug's going to be actually, working and calling games and stuff. Go figure. So we're going to run through these quickly. Here we go. Here are some more Week 0 games. Doug, I dropped this graphic last week. I don't know why I thought I was looking at Dorton, Indiana Wesleyan. This is actually Marion and Indianapolis. Fourth meeting between these two schools. Marion leads it 2-1. The NAI over the very, very solid D2 program in UIndy. Marion, we mentioned earlier, the last loss they've had on the field was to UIndy, and that was to start the season last year. 11 straight wins on the field. Of course, there was that ineligible player, so it's in the past. It's like Rafiki says, it's in the past. So that's last year. Marion coming back. I think this is going to be a really big game. Indianapolis, by the way, according to the Great Lakes Valley Conference coaches, was picked once again to win the GLVC before they move on into the Great Midwest for 2027. Doug?
Look, Marion has went on Sophie Cunningham on this. They've been pointing to this game since that's exactly what they've been doing, and this is just another big one.
I love this. I want to do a Sophie sign-off just every
That's
time
right.
from here on out.
I lobbed that one up to you. I said it like a good volleyball setter should.
You did. I mean, I thought you put it on tee, and I was dropping my shoulder, and I was heading for the fence on that one. Absolutely. Okay. And I mock the WNBA on this channel regularly, but I'm a Sophie fan. Okay. Union at University of the Cumberland's 40th meeting between these two. Union Commonwealth, which it's Union Commonwealth now, to be separated, I'm sure, from Union, the other Union University. Union Commonwealth's in Kentucky. Union University is in Tennessee. And then, of course, there's Cumberland's and Cumberland, which are in Kentucky and Tennessee, respectively, as well. Union Commonwealth, 3-12 in non-conference games since joining the Appalachian Conference in 2022. That's 4 years' worth of games, 3-12. Need to try to start off with a win here. Cumberland's, by the way, and I like this a lot. Cumberland's the 3-time NAIA Learfield Directors Cup champions, Doug. I mean, that's a stat. I know it's a little bit beyond football, but man, that means you are doing everything right throughout your entire athletic department 3 years in a row.
And look, if you're that successful all around, it translates to the field, which it does here. You see they've won 7 straight in this series. Man, I look for that to continue.
Yeah, I really do too. Coach Bryant, I think he's doing well, but I think that the Patriots will take this. We'll talk about it more. Here's one, definitely an out-of-conference game, is Pikeville is heading to Little Rock. First meeting between these two. Pikeville with 2 playoff appearances in program history a couple years ago when they went in at that 5-5 record, or 6-5 at the time. And then, Arkansas Baptist College, last 2 winning seasons, 2018 and 1955. So, it's been a little bit of a struggle, and I know you get a chance to see them in the Sooner Athletic as well, Doug.
We do, and look, unfortunately there's not a lot going on well for Arkansas Baptist right now. They don't field a lot of guys. It's struggle. You'd like to see them build, and of course that shows to the strength of the Sooner, or the lack thereof, the strength of the Sooner Athletic Conference. But this is going to be a tough week 0 game for them.
All right, we'll make it a little bit bigger there, make Doug and me just a little bit smaller so you can see those a little bit better as well. I'm just enjoying, like I said, I'm playing around. It's a much better broadcast than last week, Doug. That's all I'm saying. I'm feeling so much better about it now.
That's
right. Let's move on here. How about this one? William Woods taking on Southwest Baptist. This is really pretty cool because, hang on, Brian, let's bring that up there. You like Pikeville's offense? I like Pikeville's offense too.
Yep.
And I've liked it for a while. Love the coaching staff. I think they do a fantastic job. Grant Scott at tight end is going to get some pro looks. That's a name I haven't looked at. I'm here, and I'm trying to think. Brian, you probably remember the quarterback from last year. He was a stud, and he's moved on. So it's going to be somebody new to get to throw the ball to Grant Scott. So
that offense is going to put up a lot of points in week 0 too.
These are yeah. Let's go to William Woods at Southwest Baptist. First meeting between these two. They're not really that far apart, but first meeting between the two. William Woods, 3rd year for their program, Doug. 1-10 and 24, 1-10 and 25. And Coach Sam Camp now in his 2nd season with the program. That's a tough place to go on the road there and play in Bolivar. Southwest Baptist, by the way, coached by Paul Hansen. And Coach Hansen's a friend of the channel here, Doug. He was at Mid-American Nazarene for a while. Really good guy. I like this guy a lot. Fantastic coach, and he gets an opportunity there to D2 program. So the Owls taking on the Bearcats in D2 territory.
There you go. That's a tough step over there for them too. It'd be good to see how both of the second-year coaches build off of their first year.
Okay, I threw this one up there, Doug. I like this. Coach Wilson, also a very good guy. Enjoy visiting with him. Hope to have him on the channel again. Really like Coach Wilson. Arkansas Baptist will win some games this year, hopefully. You know what? For the program and for Coach Wilson, I hope so too. It's going to be tough to find them. That's the key right there, is finding where some of those wins are going to come in. So let's move on along in this one. Northern, this is a tough battle for MSU Northern on the road at Carroll to start the season. The Saints have won 12 straight in the series, won 54 of 61 prior. And Northern, by the way, and I know one or less games means one or none, but that was really the kindest way I could put that stat up there. MSU Northern, the Lights. Doug, is there not a cooler name than Northern Lights? Love it.
I love it.
2014 is the year here. They've won one or less game every season since 2014. By the way, Carroll won in the playoffs last year, and it was their first playoff win since 2014. And then, of course, that was the end of such a dominant streak there for the Saints. 6 national titles here in the 21st century.
Yeah, it's Carroll being Carroll in this one. This one will get ugly early.
I think that it's very likely the case. All right, here's your Friday night game, Doug. I alluded to it last week. I think this is a huge game, absolutely a huge game. The defenders are just trending up. And by that, I mean, you just look at their record. You should go look at their record. It starts with 0-0, 1-2-2, 1-2, 3-3, 4-4. Coach Penner, when he took over, it was about 5 wins. It's gotten up to 9 last year. And tough game against Mary in the playoffs last year, but Dort's going the right direction. Indiana Wesleyan, 5 straight years to earn a playoff bid. This game is huge, Doug. This is like that OUAZ game we talked about a couple weeks ago. This is one you want this on the resume before you get into conference play.
Look, this is the type of game. It's your first and a terrible reference on here. It's your first night as when you're finally able to drink and you go out and you get into a big old bar fight. And that's what's going to happen right here in the first game of the season. They're stepping into it, and this is just going to be a brawl. You never know what you get now that it's August.
That is true. It's August now.
This is August, Doug. So.
Okay. All right. There we go. By the way, I do, and Noah Strickfaden coming back at quarterback. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be there for Indiana Wesleyan yet, but I do hope to get to visit with Coach Rohde sometime soon. But we did hear from Coach Penner, Strickfaden's coming back, so excited about that for Dort. Let's move on along there. I think I skipped one. Yeah, I did. Clark. First meeting on the road at Mount Mercy. First game in program history. Clark's new head coach, Heath Zuck, first game as a head coach. And so this one could be interesting there for Mount Mercy. Right. This one, Gunnar Yates is back. Last year, he was injured early on, and he led the NAI in rushing in 2024. He's back for his junior season. Simpson, head coach Trevor Utter, first career game as a head coach. Southern Oregon has played Simpson 3 times in the last 2 years and won them all, and by the way, pretty handily there. So this is a week 0 matchup. Central Methodist, we talked about Central Methodist just a moment ago. Somebody brought them up. And the Eagles are taking on the Blue Tigers of Lincoln. And Doug, this one is wild. Okay, Lincoln is a D2 school. They're an HBCU out of Jefferson City, and these two schools are 60 miles apart. They've never played one another. But
don't understand that. Yeah, here it is. First time look, the excitement around it is going to be solid.
I think it should. And listen, these are both of these teams have chances for good wins because Central Methodist, again, you go back to 11 wins that season. Coach Callaway, he is now at Waldorf, and Waldorf needs to turn around big time. So Coach Callaway with a big opportunity there. 22, 23, 24, each one win. 3 wins combined for Central Methodist. Last year had 3 wins overall. They're heading the right direction. The Eagles are going the right direction. Lincoln 4-61, but part of that time, Doug, was in the MIAA, which is a ridiculous football conference in D2, right there in the Central region. And man, there was no. You want to talk about finding a place for Arkansas Baptist to get some wins? There was no place for Lincoln to get some wins while they were in the MIAA.
Right. Like it's another fresh year. I'm just blown away in my mind while you're going through all of that. This is 3 weeks in a row that we've had such a great number of week 0 games. I think it's just a testament to how much excitement is just 25 days away.
Yeah, and Robert thinks, hey, listen, there should be some more NAI and NCAA teams there. I think so too. And you're gonna, well, I don't want to go too far on that one, because I think there's a lengthy discussion, and maybe when we have a little bit more time, we're in August, we can talk more football, but maybe in the off season we talk a little bit more about regionalization in the Division II playoffs, and that's something that is a point of interest there as well. So,
Right.
But yeah, there are a few of those games, Leo. You're exactly right. Okay, Brian, which, by the way, Brian, thanks for being a part of the chat tonight. Appreciate that. Thanks for stepping in. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel or joined the channel, and there are a couple of them here, please do. We'd love to have you do that. Just be a part of it. Please sub. Indiana Wesleyan, a lethal offense. Dort can do some ball control and play stingy defense. That's a big part of what Dort has done the last couple of years specifically. This defense has really controlled the game. And, that's made a big difference. And, hey, we got a little Blue Tiger reference here. We got a dude at wide receiver in Marcus Harris. Visited, by the way, with Coach Miller. Oh, let's stop there for a second, Doug. Here's let me bring this one up really quickly.
There you go.
I had a chance, and I meant to do this in. There's going to be some more members only content, and I just, because of grandkids. So if you're a member, the grandkids got in the way this weekend. I'm very, very sorry. Not about having grandkids. I love my grandkids, but it was a very challenging. We've had them for a few days now, and one more day. So we're going swimming tomorrow. Just saying. But if you haven't seen this weekend's drops on the channel, Doug, I want to invite you and everyone else. Coach Calvin Miller for Langston, new head coach at Langston. I could have talked to him, and actually did talk to him another half hour after the interview. Thoroughly enjoyed that interview. You need to see that one. I think Langston's in good hands. And I was thinking about that because Langston plays Lincoln in their second game of the season, and that's always a big game. So we're throwing some Lincoln references out there. That's a big game, and I think they go on the road to Jefferson City for that one. So I'm not going to try to make the trip up to Langston to see it. The other
and we'll
one,
see Langston as well.
College of Idaho. Coach Morosky was on the channel again. Doug, I just, seriously, I listen to my own channel. When I have Coach Morosky on there, I'll just play it back and drive down the road and listen. He's fantastic. So they're definitely, you need to do that. Are we doing any Heart of America Media Day shows? Okay, there's two different questions, and I'll answer it. I'd like to have some Heart of America coaches on my channel. I don't know, Doug, I think you're going more straight into Louisiana Christian for this point. But I will try to have a couple more Heart of America coaches on mine. I'm not doing any Media Day shows, and that's not because I don't like the Heart of America. By the way, shout out to Nick Rule, the Heart of America commissioner. He is at the top. He's up there. There's some great commissioners in the NAIA. I said MIAA a while ago. NAIA, Doug, Nick Rule. I mean, you want to talk about a 30 under 30 guy? He may be a little over 30 right now. He's doing a great job there. I'd love to have some, but I'm not doing any of their Media Day shows. They didn't ask.
That's right.
Saying.
Yeah, ours from here on out will be Sooner Athletic Conference. That's what we'll do as we preview.
Yeah, Doug has like a job or something. I don't know what that's all about.
Who knew,
but,
right?
Who knew? So anyway, all right, Doug, let's bring these back up here one more time. This one again, I think there's some excitement here. Wayland Baptist, final one. I think no, I've got 2 or 3 more on the list here. Do I? Yeah, 2 more. This is a big game, Doug. It's the 7th meeting between the two. Sul Ross State, who's D2 also, in the Lone Star Conference now. They made the move from D3 to D2. They're in their 3rd season in the Lone Star Conference. Sul Ross State's lost 13 in a row. They went 0-11 last year. This is a chance for Wayland Baptist to make a statement. Now, don't be fooled. Sul Ross State's going to be ready for this game. Coach Hayes is going to have them ready for this game. And they're playing way out west in Sul Ross. I mean, not in Sul Ross, but they're playing way out west. Doug, you can go west in Texas and feel like you're in the Pacific time zone. You just keep driving out there.
Yes.
And I know you're probably familiar with some of that too. Wayland is out west in Plainview, Texas. The trip is fairly lengthy. It's going to be. Any trip in Texas is going to be lengthy. If the Pioneers win this game for Coach Hinojos, look out. You already know I'm high on Wayland Baptist this year. I'm not coming down off that limb.
look, I know you're on Wayland, and it's going to be a great one to do. Again, this is two faraway schools. Saul Ross used to be in the American Southwest Conference, I guess, back when LCU was D3 as well. And so we've seen them and how far away it is to get to. Wayland Baptist, we see them week 3, I guess it is, because we've got Langston at home in week 1. But you fly to Lubbock just to get up to Plainview. It's a long trip. Either one of these, this is going to be a good game. I like Wayland. I like Saul Ross. This ought to be another good one.
It's a tough one to pick right now, but I'm leaning Wayland Baptist. Now, when we do our preview show or our final one before the week 0 games start, we'll see what happens then. Final one on the list tonight, guys. We're starting to wrap up here. Oklahoma Panhandle State University, out of no man's land in Goodwill, Oklahoma, is going to travel down to San Antonio to take on Incarnate Word. They played once before, close game. Both teams were Division II at the time. And the Aggies get David Zeller back, their special teams player of the year in the Sooner Athletic Conference. And this one's an interesting one, Doug. And I think Brian was mentioning about a stud. Roy Alexander is a stud. Yeah. Played and set all kinds of records at Incarnate Word in 24, played for Texas Tech last year. He's decided he wants to go back down from Lubbock to San Antonio, so he's on Incarnate Word's team again. This is a week 0 opening right there.
It'll be interesting to see what OPSU does. It's we talked about it earlier. Great team, and that was, of course, it was Clayton's best logo on a team that he talked about too, because you had the state of Oklahoma in it, and I knew that would be big for you guys, Joey. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one to watch.
All right, Charles, you're going to have to help me in the chat here as we wrap up tonight. I'm going to ask our closing question then to Doug.
Okay.
As I do, Charles, help me out. Will the Heart have won this season? Won what? I need to know before either Doug or I can answer that question. Doug, what have you learned on the show tonight?
I learned that when you take all of the duct tape and baling wire off, the show runs remarkable. It was a lot of fun tonight. I also know now that we flipped into August, there were a lot of new people in the chat. Shout out to Brian. Brian got a lot of knowledge out there. When we talked to Coach earlier, that was fantastic. But Clayton, if you want to find something, if you want to follow something, go jump over on Clayton Mordecai's page and follow him on TikTok. It's really good to go and follow.
Absolutely. I learned from Clayton as well, from Coach Nourse tonight, just to his take on everything. And I think that, again, he's one of those guys, I want to say friend of the channel, because, and I know Doug, I know we're two different channels here, right? But I mean, just from my perspective.
You can be a friend of my channel too.
You're a friend of the channel, Doug. I'm just saying. He's one of those guys that I'm trying to say this. There are coaches out there that will always have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm getting personal here. I'm not going to tear up, guys, so just in case you know if you're watching this. But there are coaches out there who are going to have a special place in my heart because they were among the first to take a chance on, hey, who's this guy? Who's Joey? Who's Midwest Sports Center? He's not even in the Midwest.
Right.
And who would do preview videos with me. And there's some coaches out there that, I mean, I'll go out of my way to do whatever I can to be a blessing to them because they, did something for me. Even though I'd been broadcasting for years, they didn't know this little YouTube channel. And I mean, there's a lot more going on YouTube now than there was before too. So, he's one of those, I appreciate him. He's just so personal with the way that he handles everything. And I think it came across so much tonight in just getting the chance to interview him. And I enjoyed that we got to ask him questions that I wouldn't have asked him in a preview video because I wanted him to preview more. And he got a chance to talk about that. I dug it.
Look, his talk about because they start tomorrow, he said, and they go right into their Bulldogs Olympics. I think that's cool. And their little mountain climbing thing. I'm saying little. You figure out what it did. It was nothing little to it. But I learned as much from him off the air as we did on the air.
Yeah, that's what I learned tonight. All right, Charles, are they going to have a media day this year? I haven't asked. I don't know. And I wasn't being, snotty to the heart by saying they didn't ask me to do their media day. But I don't know. I haven't asked. What I see a lot of times is with a number of NAI conferences, you're going to see just a post that said, hey, here's our preseason, ranking, not rating, by the way. I'm glad I don't have to say that anymore, Doug.
Right.
The NAI has done so much to change that. And if you go to the website now, which, by the way, the website's new over the course of the summer, lots of good adjustments there. It actually says rankings and polls.
There you go.
Where they used to say ratings, and they were rankings and they were polls. So anyway, I know that frustrates some people, but it's semantics that drove me nuts. But anyway, so it has their preseason rankings. I don't know that they're going to have one or not, but you know what, Charles? I'll tell you what, I know some people, so I may give a call, see what I can find out. We'll know by next week for sure. So They didn't have one last season. That is there. All right, Doug, a couple more things as we wrap up here. Jameson Garcia, the other dude at wide receiver for Incarnate Word. Man, I haven't covered Incarnate Word in a while, but if they have a couple of dudes, then, I think it's worth looking that way. I do a lot of D2 stuff as well. So Zellers is going to be electric. His film is electric for OPSU. Doug, you're going to get to see Zellers this year.
We will see him. That'll be fun.
And Leo learned about Judge Charlotte's ruling. Thank you so much for putting her name out there like that. I appreciate that.
Right.
Doug has that right. Okay. Doug has a lot of things right. That's one of the reasons we like to have him on College Football this week. He's a great co-host and a good friend, so I appreciate that. All right, wrapping up, Doug, you said Sooner Athletic Conference this week. We may get it in an hour and a half if we both hurry.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a lot of fun. Sooner Athletic will have more things. Quick trip over to Houston tomorrow and Tuesday for some things. So let the community be praying for that. But we'll be back at it next Sunday with you.
All right, Midwest Sports Net. If coaches show up, and I know it's camp time now, then we're going to get a few more coaches previews, football and volleyball, and I'm still working on my KCAC Media Day men's soccer videos as well, but definitely tune in the channel for that. One more show Sunday night, and then next Monday night, please put this on your calendars. Next Monday night is the Forum. It is our NAI overall preview, and we have a lot of conversation going on, and it'll be a lot of fun. Corey and James and Vince are all going to be on the show. It is 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time again, so 9 o'clock for Charles and the folks out there. Leo, man, if you're in the Panhandle, I think, is that even in Central Time? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Help me out on that one. For those watching in Montana, then I haven't seen Henchman 21's name come up in a while, but it'll be 7 o'clock out there. But we invite you to come on. So
we got to 100 degrees this week in Montana.
Yeah,
who knew that?
I know it. Leo, Charles, Justin, Tool Envy, Dave, as well as some new folks, as you mentioned, Doug, Brian in the chat tonight, Devin in the chat tonight, Randy showed up a little bit later on. Robert made it late, Robert, but I'm glad you made it tonight. No problem out there. Josh in the chat tonight as well. Let me see. I think Bobby was in the chat tonight. Let me see. Doug, yeah, Bobby in the chat tonight. Brian in there as well. Justin, if I hadn't mentioned Justin, I think I did. Shout out to all you guys. We appreciate you all being a part of the show. For Doug Gann, I'm Joey McWilliams. Next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Central, we're going to be talking more college football, and I want you to be a part of it as well. We love you. We appreciate you being on here. God bless you all. Have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday.